Hello, Mike Hayes here. Uh, yeah, I'm testing out my new webcam. It's pretty sweet. A lot higher definition, wider screen, good stuff. I'm doing this because I really needed to say my thoughts about Scott Pilgrim versus the World. But I'm just so busy, I don't have time to really, write or produce anything besides this, which is sad, but also happy because I have a lot of other things I'm working on. I love this movie. This was absolutely top notch. It's probably eventually going to end up on my top 10 films of all time in terms of favorites. I think it was, brilliantly paced, and it never dragged, almost comically. Now, of course, there's a lot of action, there's a lot of special effects, there's a lot of geek references in it, and so there's a lot of things to talk about. However, the thing that I want to bring up, because I feel that a lot of other people don't discuss this, is that they smash cut a lot, and they abruptly cut, which is totally taken from the spirit of the comic book. Now, I saw this last weekend, and since then I've been buying and reading all 6 volumes of the graphic novels, and they are just as impressive as the movie. I am, of course, so regretting not having read them earlier, and I am just so proud and happy to have all 6 of these volumes on my shelf. It just tickles my heebie-jeebies, or however you'd put that. I would like to say that the only downside to all this is when I heard about the movie and that it was subtitled Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. As we all know, that is the subtitle of the second of 6 graphic novels. The first one is called Scott Pilgrim's Precious Little Life, then Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, etc., etc. I was under the impression that the movie took the story from the first or second graphic novels and made a movie for that, and sort of left new stuff for me to discover in the last 4 volumes. I did unfortunately find out that it covers the story of all 6 volumes in one movie. So where the movie ends, the books end. Because of that, seeing the movie first and reading the books, it makes the last 4 volumes of the graphic novels seem to drag, but in reality they're not. If you were to discover the comics first and read them, what would happen is this ticking clock of the 7 evil X's sort of like hangs over the entire story like a bit of dread, and it kind of carries everything through quite nicely to all 6 volumes. But once you've already seen that story condensed into one movie, the 6 volumes seem to drag. I'm not saying they do. So, and this will be no surprise to anyone, this the ideal thing to do is go and read all of the volumes first and then watch the movie, because there you'll be in a perfect place emotionally to appreciate the movie. Because once you get to the end of the 6th volume, then you go back and see the story again in a slightly different way. It starts literally from the exact scene, the exact sentence of the first volume is how the movie starts. And the movie is incredibly faithful. Like, all of the witty dialogue, coming from the person who made Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead. I just assumed some of the witty dialogue somehow came from that guy. His name escapes me now. I'm going to kill myself. Edgar Wright. I just assumed that some of it came from him, but it didn't. It's all in the book. So if you like the repartee of the movie, read the book, because it's all in there and then some. Some of the rearranging and condensing, of course, had to have been done by Edgar Wright. That's just a given. But right now, I am in a really, really sore place because I am now the hugest fan of Scott Pilgrim. I'm a fan of Scott Pilgrim's music, the movie soundtrack, all the comics, all the art from the comics. But the video game is right now only available on the PlayStation 3 network. And as of Wednesday, it will be available on the Xbox 360 network. So, as a general rule, I have all three systems. I do have a PlayStation 3, which is pretty much my Blu-rayer at this point, Blu-ray player. I have a Wii, I have a 360. And I play them in preference in this order: Wii, 360, and then PS3 last. I do like all three systems. I am not trying to, badmouth the PS3, but it's just, not as good as the Xbox 360 because it doesn't have as many good games. And once you're invested in the online network of an Xbox or a PS3, it's, well, call it trophies, call it whatever, but all my downloaded games, things like Braid, are available on either. I get them on the Xbox. Because the Xbox is a step above the PS3, even ever so slightly, it just makes sense for me to take all of my downloaded games and keep them on that system, because it'd be more of a pain to do some download games on the PS3 and some downloaded games on the 360. So I am out of my brain jonesing to play the Scott Pilgrim downloadable video game. If I really am not a fan of River City Ransom, which I know is a takeoff of. I don't knock the game. I realize it is a fantastic game, but it was just never my cup of bread and butter. So it's really just that I love the music and I love the animation. I mean, that's why I play BlazBlue and Street Fighter 3 for the animation. So I see nothing wrong in downloading and playing through the Scott Pilgrim game because of the art and animation, which is what I intend to do. So stay tuned to my blog, stay tuned to this YouTube channel, and we'll find out what happens, because I'm either going to go insane and download it for the PS3, or I'll be able to wait another 36 hours and download on the Xbox. And I really have no idea what I'm going to do, because I'm just going crazy here. So, just infer from that, you can imagine how much I love the movie and how much I love the comics, and it was really great. So please, I know the movie is bombing at the box office. Please go see Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, if it's at all possible. And by that I mean buy a ticket and don't sneak in, because that'd be bad. It just breaks my heart when I love a movie and it bombs, and I'm sure everyone's gone through this. But that's a vlog for another day, and I hope everyone has a great week and goes to see this movie. I hope everyone buys the comics and reads the comics. I hope everyone downloads the game and plays the game, whether it's on the PS3 or the Xbox 360. We'll see this week. And off I go. Those are my thoughts. Once again, I'm giving a rave review of Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Thank you.